You have to excuse me, I'm getting over a little bit of a cold right now. It reminds me of a time before I was married. I was dating a really wealthy young lady. She lived in a big house with servants. And one day I went over to visit her, and the butler answered the door, and he said, "I'm sorry, but she's in bed with laryngitis." And I said, "Damn those Greeks." You know, I've been married for a long time now, but my wife was shocked when I told her I wanted to do stand-up. And she said, "I'm going to come watch you." I said, "Don't do that. You'll cut out half my material." Actually, I did make the mistake of having her come to one of my shows. Had to tone it down a little bit, and I was still a little worried about it. Turned out it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought. In fact, it's really quite comfortable sleeping on the couch. You know, in my day, long, stable marriages were the norm. It's not like today. But we've been married 37 years. And one of my classmates just wrote his first book on how to have a happy and successful marriage. And it's selling quite well. Trouble is, half the proceeds are going to his ex-wife. You know, my wife is a level-headed one in our family. You know, when our oldest son was in high school, she made him do sports all 3 seasons. She said, "It's great discipline, and the exercise will keep his mind off sex." I said, "Is that why you keep sending me to the gym?" But, you know, I go to the gym quite often now. About a month ago, I was there, and this new guy came in. He was wearing women's underwear. And I said, "Man, how long have you been wearing women's panties?" He said, "Since my wife found these in my car." Now, I think it's sort of a truism that men want more sex than women. I was talking to my friend Charlie about that. He said, "Yeah, you got that right." He said, "Every time I ask for sex, I keep hearing the same excuses over and over and over again. I've got a headache. I just washed my hair. I'm your sister-in-law." But my wife, she does sort of understand me, but we've actually got 3 of our kids through college now, 1 more to go. He's a senior in high school. I want him to go to Princeton and become a Tiger, but he said he'd rather go to Washington State and find a cougar. But his second choice, he said he wanted to go to Oregon State and check out all the beavers. My wife said I can't tell you his third choice. Actually, she gets it a little bit. I just had to promise her I'm not going to give up my law practice and take my show on the road. But I really am a practicing attorney. I specialize in aviation transactions and lawsuits. And I tell people, if the machine has wings, I can do the transaction. And if it only has 1 wing, I can do the lawsuit. But before I was an attorney, I was a pilot. That was really my passion. My mother was kind of frustrated with me. And one day she asked me if I'd marry an ugly girl if she owned an airplane. And I said, "What kind of airplane?" I imagine most of you remember the Malaysia Airlines plane that sort of disappeared from the face of the earth. And everybody thought we'd never see any part of that ever again. But you may remember about 6 months ago, a piece of the left wing washed ashore on Réunion Island down in the Indian Ocean near Madagascar. And I wasn't a bit surprised when that happened, because Réunion Island is actually a part of France, and the left wing is always showing up in France. But you know, I'm also an aeronautical engineer. Actually, I was an aerospace engineer. That was my training. And when I was checking out on the internet, I found that there was a website with all these weird holidays, and May 26th is actually Sally Ride Day in honor of the first female astronaut. And I told my friend about that, and he got in trouble with his wife because he's dyslexic, and he thought it was Ride Sally Day. There was another couple of weird holidays. One of them was Take It in the Ear Day. But my wife said I better not go there, so I think I better stop here. Thanks very much. You've been great.